port in Lamu is a huge opportunity waiting to be explored. It is deep enough for all the big ship builders that want to come, noting that across Africa we have not been able to exploit that part. And I believe that part of those of you who are here, the companies that are here to look for opportunities, the shipping lines and everybody, this will be an opportunity for us to come together. Once again, I want to say my big thank you and welcome you to Kenya and Mombasa. Thank you.
Excellencies, I take this opportunity to welcome you all to Kenya and to the historic coastal city of Mombasa for the 11th Our Ocean Conference. We are deeply privileged to convene this global ocean community at such defining moment for our planet and our shared future. I extend our sincere appreciation to all our delegates, partners, institutions, and stakeholders who have joined us for this important global gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, we meet under the timely and powerful theme, our ocean, our heritage, our future. This theme reminds us that the ocean is not only a shared natural resource, but also a shared responsibility. Having been born and raised along Kenya's coastline, I have personally witnessed the profound connection between coastal communities and the ocean. For generations, the Indian Ocean has shaped our identity, sustained livelihoods, facilitated trade, inspired culture, and created opportunities for millions of people across our region. Unfortunately, today, the ocean faces unprecedented pressure from climate change, marine pollution, biodiversity loss, habitat degradation, unsustainable exploitation of marine resources, and illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. These, however, pose critical opportunities for us to address immediate economic, social, and security aspects affecting livelihoods, food security, resilience, and sustainable development. Distinguished guests, cognizant of the above, the government of Kenya is undertaking deliberate measures to unlock the immense potential in our marine and aquatic resources while safeguarding them from future generations through sustainable and science-based management approaches. Under the leadership of His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto, Kenya has prioritized the blue economy as a key driver within its bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here in Mombasa, over the coming days, let this conference serve not only as a platform for dialogue, but also as a catalyst for measurable action and meaningful partnerships. The world expects bold leadership, practical solutions, and credible commitments that can accelerate the ocean action. I therefore wish to make a clarion call to all of us to accelerate implementation of the existing ocean commitments, establish a global blue economy investment facility for developing countries, blended finance mechanisms, increase investment and climate finance for ocean-based adaptation projects, accelerate implementation of the High Seas Biodiversity Agreement, strengthen regional fisheries management and action against IUU fishing. Additionally, we need to create an enabling investment environment for launching the Blue Bond and other resource mobilization strategies for the ocean investment. Kenya stands ready to work with all partners in advancing shared vision for healthy oceans, resilient communities, and sustainable prosperity. History will judge us not by the promise we make today, but by the actions we take to secure the future of our oceans. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to all development partners, sponsors, organizers, technical teams, stakeholders, and volunteers whose dedication and commitment have made this conference possible. I extend my special appreciation to the people of Mombasa, whose governor spoke from the heart. Later on, we will want to find a cardiologist to look at that heart. And we will leave to the commitment. But thank you, Governor, for hosting us. Yesterday, you took some of the delegates to some dance, even though you got them to dance, but you never danced. And that's why we'll find a cardiologist to look at your heart. I extend special appreciation to the people of Mombasa for their warm hospitality and continued stewardship of Kenya's coastal heritage. And once again, I warmly welcome you to Kenya and to Mombasa and wish you fruitful deliberations during this conference. Your Excellencies, they said, so there's a famous saying, it goes in Kiswahili, kuingia Mombasa ni harusi, kutoka Mombasa ni matanga. And because, Your Excellency, you are a professor of law and a master in the British language, you will translate that for us when you come. Because it's very difficult for me to happily translate a funeral situation, so you will do it better than all of us. Allow me now to request that we be upstanding as we welcome His Excellency Professor Kithure Kindiki to make some remarks. Karibu Mheshimiwa.
Please be seated and good morning. Wow, we are too many. We are very many, and this is great. That shows how important what we discuss here this morning is. Excellencies, heads of delegations, Secretary Kerry, the founder of our Ocean Conference, and all the senior leaders from governments, private sector, civil society outside this country. President William Ruto would have wanted to be here in person for this session, but he is unable to do so because of scheduling constraints, but will be joining us before we leave this conference. So perhaps as we go towards closure tomorrow, he will be here physically, not just to interact with us, but also to be able to restate the commitment of this country and indeed the global community to the subject matter that brings us here today. And so, because I have explained in what capacity I stand here, I'll be very limited and careful in the things I say. But allow me to just reaffirm what colleagues who have spoken here have said, how important the oceans are to the survival of our planet. And I think we all appreciate that science tells us that the survival of our planet and the survival of humanity has a very close and permanent relationship with the health of our oceans. And therefore, for me, our gathering here is also an opportunity for us to reflect on the pressure that exists and that continues to be exerted on the oceans. And pressure that is human-made. And if it is human-made pressure, it means it can be managed, can be controlled, and the human activity that is and work towards implementation of a sustainability program. And as just been said by Secretary John Kerry and other speakers, moving to action and impact. Kenya has been associated with the global debates on the oceans for quite a bit of time. 50 years ago, Kenya took a very, very active role in the debates and the conversations that eventually culminated in the adoption of the UN, helped to some extent to mitigate against anthropogenic pressures on the ocean, with commitments around pollution and also the management of the common spaces of the ocean, the common heritage of mankind and spaces that are beyond the national jurisdiction of any state. Excellencies, therefore, Kenya continues to participate as a member of the global community in these discussions. Fast forward in 2018, together with Japan and Canada, we hosted the Conference on Sustainable Blue Economy in Nairobi, co-hosted. In 2022, together with Portugal, we co-hosted in Lisbon the second UN conference on the oceans. And therefore, we are happy to be part of this ongoing conversation. And I must say, therefore, the creation of a special ministry responsible for the blue economy and maritime affairs is not an accident, it's not an afterthought, but is a continuation of a long journey that this country has traveled in terms of focusing our attention as we look towards contributing to a healthier and safer environment and the oceans. I must commend, as Secretary Kerry, the founder of this initiative that brings us here today, and I hope this edition will meet to the standards of the dreams and aspirations of the founders of this initiative and will build on the successes of previous conferences to strengthen cooperation and accelerate implementation, to create synergy, and also to make sure that we promote policy coherence, boost scalability of action, and secure the positive impact that we look for. It has been said that we need to take care of our marine biodiversity and also manage the effects of climate change and protect sensitive marine ecosystems. But I don't think it is my space to speak about that, because I know there are enough scientists and enough professionals in this field who can state this matter a little clearer. Allow me to say that In terms of situating what our obligation as this generation is on this subject matter, it has been said that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. Instead, we borrow it from our children. What this means, friends, is that we have an obligation as the current generation to return the ocean to our children cleaner, richer, and more resilient than we found it. That is how profound our obligation is. And ladies and gentlemen, I started by situating the context, which was that President Ruto would have wanted to physically open this conference because of its importance and its place, not just for Kenya, for this region, but also for the world. But again, it was not possible. Therefore, President Ruto, as a message for this session, even as we wait for him to come and join us physically before the end of this conference. Allow me, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, to leave it there for now and then request that we listen for 5 minutes the message of His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, on occasion of this official opening of the 11th Oceans Conference and the high-level session that will be following immediately after this. Wapi makofi ya rais? Oh, sorry, I spoke in Swahili. I just said, Excellencies, let us listen to His Excellency the President. Thank you very much. I was not trying to interpret the Minister Joho's proverb, and you cannot delegate upwards, Minister. So if you have to delegate your responsibility, it has to be maybe to the next person. Am I right? Please. Where is the video?
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, investors, partners, and friends of the ocean. Hamjambo. Karibuni Kenya. Karibuni Mombasa. It is my honor to welcome you to the 11th Our Oceans Conference, the first ever held on African soil. Our theme is simple yet profound. Our ocean, our heritage, our future. For Kenya, the ocean is not a distant blue line on a map. It is who we are. Picture